Hello, Mr. Randy Dack, and welcome back for another video. Today I have two replays to show you in the Tier 8 Chinese medium premium tank, the Type-59-II. Now this tank is the level 100 free reward in the Season Pass, which comes out tomorrow. So the new Season Pass comes out tomorrow, and I thought I'd just get ahead and show you what you could win at the end of the Season Pass for free. Like I say, so you don't have to purchase a Season Pass for this one. This is one of the free rewards, and it is actually a fantastic tank. If you haven't already got this tank, it is a very, very good tank. It's a Chinese medium tank with a 390 alpha gun. Pretty good turret when you are playing top tier. You've got reasonable camo, and you've actually got 7 degrees of gun depression, which is quite unique for just a Chinese tank in general, which is quite good for playing the ridge lines. Makes it a little bit easier. And my favourite thing about this tank is the gun, because on the standard APCR rounds, you've got 1,460 shell velocity, which makes it fantastic for hitting those shots like that. You are a little bit of a weakness though in this tank is probably the penetration. You've only got 200 penetration on your standard APCR rounds, and then 250 on your heat. So when you come into those tier 10 battles, it can be a little bit awkward when you're fighting those really heavily armoured tanks. But right now we came to the middle position on El Hermain to get the cross shots exactly like this, and it's worked out really well for us because we managed to get a cheeky shot at one of the tanks crossing, and now we've got this caught this sort of tier 7 or 8 tank destroyer crossing. At the moment we don't go for that shot just because, like I said, I've only got 200 to pen, so I was waiting for him to go side on. He hasn't done that, but he got tracked, and we know we can pen the cupola, so we just do that instead. Picking up another shot of damage, putting this poor tank destroyer on a one shot. Like I say, we're waiting because we think he's going to turn a little bit more. He does. That gives us the angle to pen him, pick up our first kill of the game. Decent start to this game. Now I'm just going to try and move forward to see if I can spot any of the other tanks. There's 13 other tanks. I'm not sure where all the other heavy tanks are gone. I'm assuming they might have started to go around the other side of the map, so I'm just going to see if we can get any damage here or spot any of the tanks sort of at the back and see what we can do. We spotted this, well, only Earthshaker gets spotted, but we don't have a shot on him. Go for a blind shot there on that heavy, we managed to pen it. And right now I've looked at the mini-map, and if you can see on the other side of the map, I'm just counting up how many tanks there are. And I've counted about 7 heavy tanks and a tank destroyer. So it looks like a lot of the other tanks are going towards our base. And now I have a decision to make. I get a lovely kill on that Vanguard, that pest, which is very, very helpful. But I have a decision to make right now. It's, do I go back to defend the base, or do I opt to quickly kill this side quickly and then go back? I opted to try and go for this side and hope that my team towards our base can hold on for as long as possible, because I want to try and win this side quickly, on the basic being that I don't want my friendly team to be held up, because I'm going to need their support to go back and defend the base. So I've gone up to this ridge because I know the only tanks here is this Earthshaker. The rest of the tanks are back going towards our base now. I wanted to try and get side rear shots into the other tanks, but they're starting to get taken out anyway, so I decided to see if we can deal with this enemy Earthshaker, which is full health. Get a nice penetrate. Unfortunately, I was hoping to catch him off guard, but he snaps that shot into us, and that's not ideal because he actually has a hit point advantage on us, and he can probably win that fight. So I don't want to go in for this tank 1v1, but I also just want to get rid of this tank, and I'm just hoping my team can come and help me so we can put it in us, so we can just basically go. If we go with 2 tanks, one can go one way, the other can go other way. We'll turn the Earthshaker, and we don't need to lose too much damage. But time isn't on my side right now because we're losing on the other side, so I need to kill this guy quickly. But like I say, I don't want to lose all my hit points because I feel like I might need them when I go back to defend the base. Thankfully, my friendly light tank's going behind him, which is kind of what I wanted. I wanted him to turn him, and then we can get the shots in. So we get a shot in there, but now obviously our light tanks on this side, he's kind of stopped in front of him, which is not ideal. We are going to be able to get our shot in though before he's reloaded, which is good. Unfortunately for us though, we don't penetrate it, and that's not ideal. And now I'm thinking at this point, I'm wasting too much time because the enemy team are coming for our base, and that's I want to go back and defend our base. We have managed to finally kill that Earthshaker, putting us under 3,000 damage and 3 kills. But I have just eaten a hit point shot. Like I say, it was kind of out of time. The enemy tanks managed to come back and get a shot into us. We killed the Earthshaker a bit quicker, a bit faster. Probably wouldn't have bet that shot, but it wasn't too much we could do about it. We're going to go back now to try and put ourselves into a position to see if we can help, defend our base. I can notice a few of the tanks coming over. There's a heavy tank which obviously shot us a minute ago. I'm going to ignore him for the time being, just because I don't want the situation where suddenly 3 of their tanks are in the cap circle starting to cap us out. And also I want to get over there to help our 2 tanks which are alive, give them a little bit of support so we can try and make sure we win this game. We do have the tank advantage here, but it's still close. It's a close game. The game's not won right now. We've got down to 500 hit points. We can probably A-shot, but like I say, unless they've got a big TD on the enemy team. But yes, it's got to be a little bit careful. So one of the enemy, Sturm is looking for a poke here to try and get a shot in. We get a nice shot into that Sturm, putting them onto a 2-shot to us now. Unless we get a severe high roll, which is probably very, very unlikely. But there was an enemy IS-2 behind us, and obviously I've got to be careful because that can double shot us and actually probably kill us in one shot. Sturm Tiger comes up again. We managed to get the kill there, and Sturm Panzer, putting us onto 4 kills and putting us in a lot stronger position now because these tanks are kind of surrounded. We've got 2 tanks here. I'm not too sure where the 3rd tank is. There's the IS, double shot tier 8 tank, which we're just being a little bit careful of because I don't want to give him any, chance just to full send over and double shot us. But he now has tanks coming behind him and probably in a little bit of bother. So we're going to try and focus this Tiger here. Put that Tiger down to a 1-shot. I was thinking he'd probably get finished off my team before I'm able to get a shot into that Tiger. But he hasn't done, so I'm going to just use my opportunity now to pick up that kill. Pick up the 5th kill. Giving us an opportunity for a potential Devastator, if we're lucky enough. We're going to see if we can pick up the top gun by killing this tank here on the right. He gets taken out. It's just a heavy tank now in the cap circle. Not going to be much threat now because we're just going to be out to spot him and we're just going to be able to just farm him really. Get a nice shot into the lower plate. I swapped to the heat shells. I don't necessarily need it, but penning the lower plate with that 200 pen from distance is not guaranteed, and I want to try and pick up the Top Gun medal. And thankfully we do pick up the Top Gun medal, getting our 6 kills, putting us into 5,000 damage, 500 assistance, which brings us an end to replay number 1. We get over 2,000 base XP, should be the ace tanker here. We do get the ace tanker. Obviously I've already free marked this tank a little while ago because it is a tank I've really enjoyed. But that's it for replay number 1, and let's move on to the second and final replay of the video. Okay, so here we are for the final replay. Again, we are in a tier 8 game. I didn't manage to get a tier 10 game to show you, unfortunately. But yes, so we're on to replay number 2, the final replay on Mali. We got 1 enemy artillery, and I think the enemy have 1 enemy light tank. So initially I was thinking about playing the sort of middle ridge at the start, see if I can get any cross shots on anything on their base. But I think in this sort of last minute, I have a change of heart because there's a tank destroyer with us. And I think, you know what, I'm going to gamble this and go underneath their ridge. It is a good position to play, but also comes with its risk. Because if you get spotted early here, like I have, I'm expecting to eat a little bit of damage. And that's not really ideal. Thankfully, I did have a good spawn to get there. So I got there pretty quickly and hoping I'm going to get there before a few guns are ready to shoot. Right now, I get a nice snapshot on the move. But I'm expecting to eat a bit of damage. But thankfully, I haven't, which is good. But I do have a tank, a Comet, to our right on the ridge. Now, if I poke too high, that Comet is going to be able to get shots into us. So we've got to be careful, got to be wary of that Comet. But also, he's kind of sort of moved that position now, which is good for us. But he's looking like he's going to come back, looks to get a shot in. Pull back, we bounce a shot off of our turret. We do have covering shots, though, onto this Comet. Now an enemy Cries OK has full sent us, which is not ideal. Bear in mind that Comet can shoot on us if we go too far forward. That's why I'm hugging this ridge. The Comet doesn't have shots at us. For the Comet to shoot us, he has to fall overextend. Trying to focus this Cries OK out quickly as possible so I can just deal with that threat. He gets taken out by our friendly tanks covering us, picking up a little bit of assistance. This medium tank's made a wise decision of backing up because if he would have came over, he probably would have had the same fate as the other tanks because he would have got shot by all our tanks covering. Now this Dreadnought's coming up. He can obviously shoot us, which is in the rear again. We've got to be careful of, but I'm not overly concerned because that's not a great position for a Dreadnought when you can see we've got lots of tanks covering him. And there you go, he's losing most of his hit points here. Hopefully we can land one shot in, we'll be able to take him out, but I don't even know we need to because our friendly team are just landing in shots. we're picking up the assistance, and that threat is now dealt with. But it is actually still a relatively close game. But now I've managed to keep this position, not lost any hit points surprisingly, and now I can spot any of the tanks going up to the hill and just pick up some more assistance, get some more damage in. I've got 1,000 assistance, 2,000 damage now. Decent start to this game. You notice a lot of the enemy team have pushed down the river road on the 1-2 line. That is something, well, I've got to be wary of, because they get all the way around, they might be able to shoot me in the rear, but that's not the major concern right now, because there's not a lot of enemy teams contested on the hill, which is going to give me an opportunity to poke and try and spot. Because you remember there was a medium tank to our left. That tank is the one which is lighting me, and I want to spot that tank, because then it's going to get taken out by lots of tanks covering them. So that's what I'm trying to do. We do spot him. Now it's kind of a matter of time till our tanks on the hill start firing at this tank, and it shouldn't take long for them to take him out once they start aiming their guns. And they do. We pick up some more assistance, putting us under 2,000 damage. I'm now going to try and push up to my next sort of secondary position, if you like. I want to get a little bit higher to keep lighting the enemy tanks and also stop me getting shot in the rear. If the enemy team have pushed right down the 1-2 line, I can just get all this assistance here. So we get unlucky there when we bounced that Sturm Tiger. Bit unfortunate. We have loaded the heat just in case that Sturm Tiger starts to look at us, because if he does, we're going to struggle to pen in front on with the 200 APCR pen. I do get shot on the left there. Now I think that is the enemy E25 on the enemy team, because just the amount of the hit points I've lost, and obviously that tank I'm going to really struggle to spot an enemy E25. It's got absolutely filthy camo. I was looking to try and get a shot there, but I was careful. I didn't know if the TD was looking at us when I poked, but thankfully it's not. The TD's got all sorts of problems really. If he turns to fight me, he's probably going to get shot from the hill. If he doesn't turn to fight me, I'm going to shoot him just like this. And we do pick up our next kill, and we've now racked up 3,000 damage. Pick up 2,500 damage, 3,000 assistance. I keep getting detected each time I poke, and at this point, I'm thinking it can only be the enemy E25, because and at that point I'm thinking, you know what, the rest of the tanks are probably pushed down the 1-2 line, so they're not necessarily going to have shots at me. I'm just going to push in, and the only way I'm going to spot this E25 is if I get close enough. Thankfully, I get close enough to spot him because he fires, loses a bit of concealment rating, and now I was aware of the fact that I had all the tanks covering me, and I'm reaping the reward from that, picking up the assistance. And I'm going to keep going now because I know where the enemy heavy tanks are. I got shot there by one of them. I just want to spot them because I know if these tanks get detected, they're in the open, and I'm going to get the assistance damage from it. So I'm just going to keep pushing. Like I say, I could stop and shoot this tank, but I recognise that I have a lot of assistance. I want to spot the other two heavies, and I've still got the hit points to do this. Like I say, the other heavies might start looking at us now, but now I'm detecting all these tanks. These are all going to be my assistance damage. We managed to bounce a shot there off the heavy tank, which gets taken out, puts us onto almost just over 4,000 assistance then. We've got a hold down heavy tank, which we're not going to pen, but we can pen this bog horror, putting that bog horror onto one shot. If we kill this bog horror, we can get really close to this heavy tank, and just see maybe pick up some more assistance, having a really decent game here. I can trade shots right now. I can eat hit points because I know this heavy tank is on borrowed time. He has the artillery shooting at him. We have all these tanks closing in on him. So I'm just going to go in, straight in, prepared just to eat a shot. It doesn't really matter to me if I lose this hit point here. I just want to get more out of this game. We get one in. I'm still going to eat a secondary shot of this tank unless he sets me on fire. So I'm just going to stop, wait. If he shoots me, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to try and make sure I land my shot. And I do, and we bring that game to a close. And we actually have a really good result in the end on a pretty quick game. We get 2 kills, 2,300 base XP, 5,400 assistance, 4,000 damage, and 1,000 blocked, bringing us to an ace tanker, high caliber, and we get the patrol medal for all that assistance damage. So that is it for the video. Like I say, you can earn this tank for free in the season pass once you got to level 100. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!